Well, thank you very much, Chairman Foster, and thank you to our witnesses for being here at this very important hearing, and what will prove, I'm sure, to be a fascinating hearing on combating the spread of misinformation on social media. We live in an amazing world, a world where we are presented with a selected, curated news feed that only includes the things that we're personally interested in. And that's informed by algorithms that companies like social media have come up with to foster user engagement and to maximize our interest in the information that's being provided. But unfortunately, as the chairman pointed out, that's also catalyzed the spread of misinformation. Combating that spread is something that has been a societal problem for hundreds of years now, but it's exacerbated by the fact that information now spreads so easily, and that information is personalized to each one of us. So the information that I see in the morning is not the same thing that the information that other people see in the morning. And unfortunately, that can hide and mask the spread of this misinformation. And if you want a perfect example of how that can be problematic, you can look at a hearing that this subcommittee held a couple of weeks ago on the origins of COVID. And one of the, for me, the very surprising outcomes of that committee hearing was the fact that although we had competing theories about the spread of COVID, that any theory other than natural zoonotic origin had been rejected early in the crisis as misinformation and had been labeled a conspiracy theory, and that the social media companies had actively suppressed the spread of that information. And now, with the benefit of hindsight and the discovery of new data, we've discovered that competing theories are not only possible, but indeed plausible, and in fact, might end up being the successful theory. So no one can deny that this effort to combat the spread of misinformation has severely hampered our ability to identify the origins of COVID. And it just illustrates how these two ideas are in tension, right? On one hand, we want to be a society that honors the exercise of free speech, but that is fundamentally in tension with the idea that we also have an obligation to stop the spread of misinformation. So I'm hopeful that some of our panelists today will be able to talk some more about kind of that, where that moral boundary is, and figuring out as a society how to balance those two competing interests, I think is critical. Because on the one hand, as recent events have shown, we all have a vested interest in trying to figure out how to stop the spread of misinformation. But on the other hand, history has shown us repeatedly that if we allow censorship to take the place of misinformation, that will take us down a very dark path as a society. So we have to find this middle ground, this balance in between the two. And I'm confident that we can. And I'm also confident that the social media companies like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter are going to be critical to helping us solve this problem, because they have the expert knowledge in the way their algorithms work. They have the expert knowledge in the way that this information spreads and what catalyzes people's interest in news about the world around them. And so I think definitely that they're going to need a seat at the table. We're going to need to tap all of our available sources of information, which certainly includes them, but also includes the independent researchers we're going to hear from today. And I'm very thankful that they're out there gathering this information to give us a holistic view of this problem. So I am looking very much forward to the hearing and looking forward to asking questions afterwards. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.